And for more, let's head out to Dodger Stadium and talk to the brand new Dodger, Trevor Bauer. Trevor and his friend Charles, a Hall of Famer, John Smoltz and Al Leiter. First off, just take me back to the last couple of days there, even within the last 24 hours, because it seemed like it was a bit of a frenzy. What were your nerves like waiting to figure out where you were going to land?
Yeah, I usually handle that stuff pretty well. This one definitely got me. There was definitely a moment on the phone where I was like, I need some time to think, and I can't think right now. It was pretty crazy. I woke up at basically 6 in the morning to calls like, hey, we need an answer on this, and then, hey, this thing changed and that thing changed. It was for 5 hours basically on the phone with my dad and my representation, both Rachel and John, and this thing changed and financials and this and that, whatever the case is. So it was a whirlwind, but couldn't be happier with how it played out.
Trevor, this is John Smoltz. I'm old enough to have been on this desk long enough to be able to say, when you were with Arizona, I got to tip my hat to you because I didn't think that style would last, and I thought you'd have to make a lot of adjustments to get to where you are today. You've done that. You've showed baseball how to stay healthy, which is impressive when an industry has nothing but injuries. So what were some of those adjustments? I know it has to go both ways, but what were some of those adjustments that you learned as you know your body and been able to get to this point in your career?
Oh, man, we could talk about this forever, but you were right. I did have to make a lot of adjustments to get to this point. It started with mechanics, like how does my body move? Let me understand it from a structural standpoint. Getting X-rays and MRIs and stuff like that on my body, talking to physical therapists, biomechanists, understanding like, okay, how does my body move most efficiently? How can I get the most out of it without putting unneeded stress on it? It's in the weight room, it's conditioning, it's recovery tools, it's nutrition. And it's just a matter of, learning these things over the course of time. And I think we have technology nowadays that makes that process easier for people. And something that I'm passionate about, trying to help the next generation understand more, because as you said, the injury rate, especially among pitchers in our game right now, is just way too high. And I think that we have a real opportunity moving forward to make that better. But it comes with challenges, obviously. Obviously, velocity continues to go up, and players are asked to throw harder earlier to even make it into pro ball. So there's a lot of challenges, but it's exciting because there's a lot of unknown. And for someone who's as much into research and development as I am, it's a new frontier. So I'm excited about that moving forward, and hopefully my process can positively impact someone, even if it's just one person. It's worth it.
Trevor, congratulations, Sal. I'm curious if you could take us into the process right at the very end. I know the Mets were in it right to the very end. You agonized over it. You grew up nearby in Santa Clarita, went to UCLA. Wearing that Dodger blue uniform, was that the separator between you signing there and not in New York?
Obviously location, location didn't really have an impact on it. It wasn't like I really wanted to come home necessarily or not. I was looking for a partnership with an organization. I was looking for a chance to win. I was looking for someone who could help me become a better player, and someone who was open to me helping other people if I can. So just the way the organization handled it the entire way through was very respectful of me and my representation. They were very respectful of the process. They were very open-minded to everything. And just the talent on the field, the talent in the minor leagues, the whole system, the people that are here, the systems that they have, how everything's integrated, and just the chance to win. I think the Dodger organization has proven to be exceptional at putting themselves in a position to win, and I'm excited about that. I finished second in the College World Series. I finished second in the World Series in 2016. I want to finish first, and that's really where my mind's at, and that's really why I wanted to be part of the Dodgers organization.
I've always been intrigued by how technology has really you've embraced it, and technology has embraced you. And Smoltz touched on it. Over the years since you were drafted #1 by the D-backs, you've evolved. But I'm curious, you got a Cy Young on your mantle. You had a career year last year, albeit in 60-game season. What did you do this winter with respect to technology or not to get better and go into spring training this year?
Yeah, I mean, regardless of the results on the field, there's always things that are getting better or getting worse as your career progresses. I think I took a huge step forward at commanding the ball last year, so I've doubled down on those efforts. I think I finally, in my head, have systemized how to teach command and how to train it. I really implemented that last offseason and during quarantine, so I was really excited about that, so I doubled down on that. But my velocity has fallen the last couple of years due to some outside factors. I was injured most of 2019, and 2020 obviously being a short season and not having things play out, and the quick ramp up in spring training, in summer camp, whatever you want to call it. But velocity was a big thing for me this offseason. How do I get more out of my body? How do I move more efficiently? And how do I train myself more efficiently in the weight room? How do I get stronger, more elastic? How do I increase my physical abilities? And that's really where the focus has been. I don't need to add a new pitch. I feel pretty comfortable with my repertoire as it is right now. I think a lot of my internal analytics say that I had basically every pitch I threw last year was kind of a top 5 pitch in its category in baseball. So I'm happy with where my repertoire is at. Now it's about understanding hitters. It's about getting the ball where I want it to go, and it's about increasing my velocity if possible to keep track with the league, because the league average velocity continues to go up every single year.
Trevor, you obviously had a career year last year, and congratulations on that. And not to get too technical, but your spin rate pretty much jumped up on all your pitches. Now, for all the kids at home, is spin rate something as a pitcher you can work on, or is that something they should be thinking about working on, or is it just something that's natural that comes from what you do?
It depends. It's really an individualized thing. There's definitely ways to teach certain individuals how to increase spin rate, whether you're cutting the ball or you're behind it, whether your fingers are in the right place, on the ball or not, if they're on a seam, if they're on the leather. It's really hard to say as a blanket statement without looking at the individual themselves. That being said, spin is a potential. It's a measure of potential. The axis of which around which the ball is spinning dictates how the ball is going to move, but the spin dictates how much it's going to move. And these are all things that are pretty advanced concepts for the younger generation. So the best thing to do at that age is just to work on being athletic in the throwing delivery and trying to throw the ball to a target every single time you throw it, but trying to throw it aggressively and trying to throw it hard so you develop those skill sets. A lot of these finer tuning things can be taught later in life, but you can't work on spinning the ball better if you don't know how to throw the ball really well first. So that's where I would start for the youth.
Trevor, you mentioned your representation earlier. Part of your representation is a woman by the name of Rachel Luba, and you guys negotiated the richest contract in Major League Baseball history, and all that is being talked about over the last 6 to 12 months about diversity and inclusion. What does that mean to you to help push the ball forward, basically because agencies they're dominated by males, that you can have a woman as part of your representation to help basically with your career and foster her career and move the ball forward?
Yeah, Rachel did a tremendous job. I really couldn't be more impressed with it, especially given it's her first free agent contract that she's negotiated. Her model is really appealing to me. That's why I ultimately made the switch. She charges an hourly rate. It's different. It's different than the majority of the agencies out there who charge a flat percentage where they make more money or less money based on the player's performance. I think her model is very interesting to me. I think it's something that can really help a lot of players, and that's where my focus is. That's why it's a good alignment with Luba Sports and myself, because I'm focused on making the game better for players, and I think that having a more customized and personalized representation package that you can get exactly what you want out of it and nothing extra and pay what that service is worth as opposed to a flat percentage is extremely important to have as an option for players. So the fact that she's a woman to me it's great, but I in no means did I switch to her because she's a woman. The way I view things, if you can do the job, it doesn't really matter if you're a woman or a man. Everyone should be given an equal opportunity based on their skill sets. And I think Rachel's an extremely talented person. I think Luba Sports is an extremely novel concept that can help a lot of players. And hopefully players out there that had questions about the model or questions about her ability to negotiate with the big boys, so to speak, hopefully all those concerns are put to bed. She charges much less, or I'm going to pay a lot less than I would at a traditional agency, and I got the highest annual salary in the big leagues. So pretty much speaks for itself, and couldn't be more happy for her.
Congratulations on signing with the Dodgers, and we appreciate your time, Trevor.
Thanks for having me on. Always love talking to you guys.